Hi, my name is Danielle and we are at Peterborough Ice Rink today to celebrate the history of ice skating in our village.
Here are excerpts from an interview we conducted with modern-day Welney skater Adam Giles to find out more about its origins.
In fact, some say that skating in the United Kingdom really started here in Welney, that they started probably in the Middle Ages, and they say that they used to skate on sheep's leg bones. So they used to actually strap these leg bones to the bottom of their leather shoes, one on each, and then tie them on, and then use a spiked stick to kind of push themselves along on the ice. So,
but why did people start skating in the fens?
Years ago, everybody was working on the land.
Yeah.
If the ground was frozen, they couldn't do any work, so there wasn't much to do, and quite often they'd go skating if there was ice about. And also, some of the farmers used to put up prizes, so there would be sides of meat and beef and pork to race for. So people couldn't earn money from work because the ground was frozen, and they'd go skate racing, and they'd basically get their food, or win their food if they could. Lots of the villages used to have all their own skating races. There's not so much now because people are working away from the fens, they're not working on the land. So when it freezes, it doesn't stop them going to work in Ely or Peterborough or Wisbech, working in an office. But if you could imagine, years ago, everybody was working on the land. If the ground was frozen, they couldn't do any work. Well, so there were several big skating names in the village, and some of them are still about now. Smart was a surname, which was very, very big in the skating world. And the other one was C. They came to sort of prominence in the late 1800s when they were starting to do really well. And one of them even became a world champion, a guy called James Smart, in about 1890. So these people were some of the best skaters in the world, and they were based here in this small village.
Do you know anything about Norway House?
Yeah, I do. Norway House is actually on the Bedford bank. So if you go into the village and you go up to the bridge over the Bedford, you will see a sign saying Bedford Bank East. If you go down there about 2 miles, the house still exists, and people actually live in there at the moment. But that was a very important house for skating. It was where James Smart, who was a world champion, a professional world champion, lived. And he built that house out of a lot of money that he earned from selling skates. And in fact, what I've got here, I'm just going to show you. Here are a set of really old skates. I've got another one here, and these used to be strapped to the bottom of the boots. And you can actually see on here, it says Hagen. If you just look down here, it says Hagen. Now that's a Norwegian company. In fact, the man, a chap called Harold Hagen, used to be a world champion, and he became very friendly with James Smart of the village. And James Smart, once he realised this man was making these skates, decided to buy the franchise to bring the skates to England.
We asked Adam Giles where best to look for evidence, and this is what he said.
Well, always a good place to start is the graveyard. Now, if you go into Welney graveyard, you will find, it will take a little bit of hunting about, but you will find the grave of this man, James Smart. He's there. And also another very famous Welney skater, and that's Turkey Smart, who was an uncle of James Smart. And they called him Turkey Smart because when he used to skate, he used to lean right forward and flail his arms about, and he kind of looked like a turkey.
They're one by James Smart, it says here.
Oh, wow.
Of Welney. James Smart of Welney. It's on their side.